Hello and welcome to another episode of Made of Things, of the Made of Things podcast, because Made of Things is mostly a YouTube show now. So this is episode 44. I am your host, Antonio Maria Correia. This is the one that features Whitney, the band, the cool duo of Julien and Max, and at least they have a full band, but mostly that's the band. They are the creative duo of the creative force, main creative force of Whitney. They have an excellent album of last year, and yeah, you should check the album out because it's really good. Like one of the top, I think one of my favorite records of 2016, I think. And so we caught them at Vodafone Mesh Fest a couple of months ago. I already put this up on YouTube as a video interview. That's the main priority of the show, as I've been stating in the last few episodes of the podcast. I've already gone through this a bunch of times, but still I'm trying to prioritize YouTube because we have most of the interviews or at least the episodes of the show are recorded on video as well, so that's the main thing. I've always worked video on professionally, so that's my main thing, not necessarily the audio thing. So we get people to artists that I enjoy. That's the main criteria. As we invite them and we catch them in convenient situations, such as backstage at we schedule an interview backstage at a festival when they play Portugal, or anywhere else that I happen to be in, which is not too many places at the moment since I have a back injury, and I've addressed that in the past episode. But I have a current back injury, can't do much, don't have much to say because of that. But I did finally go out last night to the Eddie Izzard stand-up show, which is the first time he's ever been in Portugal, and actually I would say the first time we've had a major stand-up name in Lisbon, playing in Lisbon. So we've had the boy with tape on his face, who's non-verbal, so his act is non-verbal, so it's not this. I don't think it necessarily counts, because that's something anyone can enjoy, anywhere. And then last year we had John Cooper Clarke, who was a guest on this show. You should check it out if you haven't already. This English punkish poet of sorts, kind of gothy as well, kind of old school rock and roll as well. So first wave of punk, if you can be kind of lenient with that term. But yeah, sure. There's some of it in him. There's definitely the attitude, but whatever. It's almost a trite term these days. I know. I'm aware of what punk is, guys. So yeah. And the first wave and second wave, and third wave, yeah, and stuff like that. And but even being aware, I'm sidetracking, aren't I? So yeah, we'll have some really punk, seminal punk names on the show soon, so check that out soon. I'm not saying when. So yeah, but we had John Cooper Clarke on the show, and he's more like a poet and spoken word guy, even though it's his act is full of jokes. So that's kind of stand-up-ish. It is stand-up, but in terms of being like a major worldwide name such as Eddie Izzard, or one would imagine like a Louis C.K. or a Ricky Gervais or something like that, it's not, or like a Kevin Hart. I don't really follow them because I have these specific tastes in comedy as well, so I'll like The State and Reeves and Mortimer. I'm not going to a comedy Bang Bang, amazing, but I'm not even going to start. Otherwise, it's just a list of stuff. And if you want to, I mention these things often throughout my body of work. So yeah, these people don't really come to Portugal. So I went to, I had to go because I bought tickets to Mr. Izzard's show last night, and unfortunately we got a friend of mine got the tickets for us, and we sat really far, and I'm not complaining about lack of conditions watching shows, because my luck in my life, like I'm 35, and I've the amount of shows of amazing stuff that I enjoy, that I've watched, especially in work related, so not necessarily paying for stuff, and watching, and the amount of contact that I've had with things. I'm not bragging, I'm just saying I've been lucky. The amount of contact I've had over the years is really something to be, I really cannot complain. So if there's one show that I don't really have the stand-up or music or whatever, if I can't really watch particularly well or hear particularly well, it's fine, it's okay, I'm fine with that. So Izzard's show last night, we were really in the back of the house, and we had the ceiling thing that really cut the audio kind of somewhat, I would say like 10% or 5% of the jokes really didn't land, but yeah, it was really enjoyable, very elegant show. I would really recommend it to anyone, really, because it's really strong, it's for most people, I would say. So it's broad, but it's also very cultured, it's elegant, like he never is an asshole, which is always commendable, and always something to to applaud. So he's never an asshole. He's very moderate. He's very bright. Has lots, loads of history, loads of linguistics, stuff that I enjoy, and yeah, I can criticize the thing here and there, but it's like 5% of the show wasn't like my sort of joke, or some of it I could see where he was going, more or less. So but then again, he also had like a sort of stuff that I enjoy, which is like this lyrical surrealist, what if you want to call it that, but like this especially whimsical but this sort of tone that is real kind of bizarre, and that's what I enjoy. So there was those moments too. So okay, so a part of the being blocked by the somewhat the audio somewhat, it was really cool, and also the audience was mostly Portuguese, and because we tend to have a lot of international audience members coming in from abroad, especially England, because England to Portugal is like a 50 euro or $50 if you're an American, or 50 euro ish a 50 euro flight ticket. So it's really just a fun weekend, really, if you or a fun couple of days if you live in Europe. So just travel to Portugal and check out some stuff, like I do sometimes abroad for other things. So yeah, so the stand-up I've seen, I was actually talking about the audience. The audience seemed really informed and mostly tasteful, so that's lucky. That's good. I think Netflix has had a really good effect on that, because ever since founding the Portuguese section of, or not section, I mean Netflix Portugal ever since they started. We have had access with with good subtitles, really good subtitles actually, and a lot of comedy specials, a lot of stand-up specials of really high quality, and some of the best stuff you can find, like more recently Mike Birbiglia's one is amazing. My favorite of last year, what was it? Oh man, I forgot. John Mulaney's stand-up special of last year is the shit. It's so funny, and it's so kind-hearted and so pure, and I would like that one as well. And as the top thing of stand-up I've seen last year, which isn't the most, I'm a busy dude, so catching up on a lot of shows, but whatever. And also, maybe it's not your cup of tea, but Anthony Jeselnik's one is really good, and it's just like this fake sort of anti-PC, which it really isn't. It's just really on the fence. It's amazing. So check those out and be baffled how that dude gets away with what seems to be an insult but really isn't. Yeah, so genius, really. Genius work. But Mulaney's my guy, I would say, of stand-up, of recent stand-up. So yeah, we got the chance to watch Eddie Izzard, and that's the one of, so I would say, like, okay, so there's Eddie Izzard. I've watched Stuart Lee last year, which I've addressed on this show. Paul F. Tompkins, one of my all-time favorites. I would say, and then we watched. I also caught Rob Delaney and Morgan Murphy in London as well when I traveled to watch the Paul F. Tompkins show. So I would say that Delaney's one was strong but broad at the time. This was like 3 years ago. Morgan Murphy was also excellent. I would say even better. Then I would group. I would place the Eddie Izzard one also like middle of the ladder, and like halfway up, and then I would go and I would joint the what was it called, co-headline, whatever, so ex aequo, number one, Paul F. Tompkins and Stuart Lee. Paul F. Tompkins because it was an amazing experience. Not just the act. The act is more narrative. You laugh less, but you laugh like inside, and it's more like a story. And it's we watched the Crying and Driving special. It's up online. So yeah, I would check that out. And it was a really small room, and the it's just really intimate. And then he was the nicest. Like I addressed Janie, his wife, who was also a comedian and actress, and told her, like, we had come from Portugal. Me, a couple of friends and I. So then would like her to tell Paul that we really enjoyed the show, and then she got him for us, and then I think we spent 3 hours talking, actually. So I don't think I've ever addressed this on this show, actually. But yeah, I will in more detail at some point. But yeah, he bought us drinks and just talked to us freely for 2.5 hours or something. We really didn't want to keep him longer, but he just came, I'm just going to do something and I'll be back, which is like kind of a goodbye, like like an elegant way of saying, okay, we've shared this. So after like an hour, he was like, oh, I'm just going to fetch if something's okay, and I'll be right back. And you were like, oh, it's amazing how he's so sweet and like the nicest person. And then he does come back, and then he hangs out with you an extra hour. So it's just like as a fan, this dude is in my earbuds all the time. So yeah, and then I'll try to tell you guys more stories on this at some point. Stuart Lee, well, I've spoken about it on this show. I took a picture of him. I shouldn't have, but then I told he was going to kill me, basically, because this was a really intimate show in Brighton last year, actually in late 2015. And he was basically going to murder me and rip my phone off out of my hands. I mean, and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, dude. Sorry, Stu. I came from Portugal. I shouldn't have. I know. I'll put this away. But I came from Portugal to see you, so I thought I'd take a picture." And the crowd went nuts. It was like 100 people, like a really small show, like workshop-y sort of show. So yeah, he just froze and everyone laughed, and it was like, okay, so that's really sweet. Thank you. And then we exchanged like a couple of words, like not heckling. He was heckling me actually. And I was playing along. So yeah, something about sardines in Portugal, which is like a Stuart Lee bit. Okay. Anyway, you guys are listening to this not just to hear me rant about stuff. So I hope you are at some point. I'm just skipping the first 15 minutes, like the Marin, like the WTF famous technique, which I don't do. I always listen to Mark. Always. It's part of the show. Come on. It's part of the fun, is listening to him speak about stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy me, speaking about stuff, and I hope you guys enjoy me speaking to Julien and Max at Vodafone Meshfest. I apologize. Last year, so a couple of months ago, of the guys from Whitney. It was amazing. I really enjoyed this. And by the way, they're coming back to. So there was a seamless segue I just did, and I'm going to stop myself because I forgot that they're coming to Primavera in Porto in like a couple of months. So Primavera Sound. I'm not going to Barcelona this year because my back is ruined. I'm not going to travel, but I'm definitely trying to go to Porto, which is in Portugal. So it's just a couple of hours away. So to the Primavera Sound edition of the festival, and they're playing. So I hope you guys enjoy this conversation and I had with Julien and Max and of Whitney, and that you guys maybe are interested in watching them live if they're coming to you, or if you're feeling insane, or not insane, but a little bit crazier, or a little bit more adventurous, because it isn't crazy, to come to Porto in Portugal and attend Primavera Sound, because it's really fun. So thanks, guys. Oh, by the way, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Those are social media, and we're on them. So follow us, subscribe, like, whatever, share, subscribe, whatever. I hate that, plugging this sort of shit, but smash those buttons, as they say. So please enjoy Whitney. Bye. Welcome to Portugal. Have you ever played here before? Because I don't recall.
We played in Porto at was it called Paredes de Cora?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. I've never been to that actually. I know that it's amazing. I know that it's an amazing venue, but I've actually, unfortunately, never been to that because it's always in the summer, and I've always seemed to be working in the summer for other stuff. So I've never in my whole life never been to Paredes. What do you guys remember from that?
The drive in, like, it looked a lot like Northern California to me.
Oh.
But yeah, it was beautiful. Everyone was super beautiful. All the dudes were like so much better looking than us, and their girlfriends were pretty. We were just walking around. Everyone was also wearing like bathing suits and like had no shirt on, and like I just remember all of us walking around with like our long black jeans and just like jackets. We were just like, what the hell is going on? But yeah, it was really fun. Good show, good crowd.
Awesome. And had you guys been over here also with Smith Westerns, for instance? Did you come here?
Yeah, actually, we played Lisbon opening up for MGMT at there's like a bull ring, right? There's
Campuchian.
Yeah, I've played there before.
Oh, cool.
A long time ago.
That's a cool venue as well.
Yeah,
Cool. My first show at Campuchian before it was remodeled really was back in '94, I think. 93 with Faith No More. So I was tiny, and watching a show over there. It's always been fun over there. And but you guys, what made you start Whitney? What did you have any previous ideas or intentions, or was just like all of a sudden you're doing this with these arrangements and with these songs?
We were listening to this band called Amanaz a bunch, and then Max bought a tape machine, and then I don't know. We just wrote a song. It wasn't like directly influenced by Amanaz necessarily, but we realized that like the way the tape machine sounded kind of like emulated some of their like demos or whatever, some of their songs. And then from there, like the sound grew, and obviously doesn't sound as like lo-fi or something, but
no, not at all.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love the record, by the way. I think Light Upon the Lake is really good. You're welcome, and thank you for making it. But I've been listening to it. Actually, it's kind of funny because this happens sometimes. Like you have a lot of music and stuff that you're listening to, and then all of a sudden there's this feeling because some places or some places or magazines or websites are saying like, check these guys out, and or this band out, and I was feeling I remember because I was feeling kind of curmudgeon-y that day. It was like, who is this I'm supposed to know now? Like, then
we get that way too, like all the time. It isn't until a lot of times we'll be at a festival or something like this, and we'll meet a band face to face, and then I will have like heard their name or whatever, and then if they're nice people or whatever, then we'll be like, I should check their music out. Like we really don't we don't sift through the internet to like find the hottest like indie bands or whatever.
Oh no, it just kind of naturally came to my circle of perception, I guess. So and then I went to listen to it, and then this is nice. So and then as it went on, I enjoyed your stuff more and more. It's really cool. Congratulations on that because it's awesome. But when you're thinking about, for instance, like Light Upon the Lake, is it still on the Whitney name? So is it genderless? Is it the Whitney?
Yeah,
it's not supposed to be any specific gender. No. Yeah. Okay, cool. And what's the scope? What's the scope behind that? What's what does that achieve? I mean, it speaks to 2016 for sure, but and I get it. But do you guys have any intent with that?
We just didn't necessarily, like we were writing kind of like country folk songs, and I think we realized that my voice sounded different than like any other like voice that ever sang these, like in this genre, in this vein or whatever. So I don't know. It was just kind of like, let's try it out.
Sure.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, we didn't, I don't know. Something made us really happy about how like androgynous the vocals sounded. So
yeah. Okay, cool, awesome. And Whitney, there was a person, and still is in our memories, but there was a person who didn't go by the name Whitney, but who people refer to as Whitney, and was Mariah ever an option, for instance?
That was a sick way to spin that.
Thank you. I thought about it previously.
No, no. But it was just like the moment that because we were just scrolling through a list of names on our phones, and then I forgot who, but someone said Whitney, and then it's just like, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And it's good to take things that are perceived in a certain way and then give it some new meaning. Now there's another Whitney as a strong musical contender, in the world. Now people won't just think of that Whitney, of Whitney Houston, obviously, for people who know nothing, I guess. Light Upon the Lake, is it was it something that happened to you? Is there any specific lake?
There's two. Yeah. Well, I mean, like we're from Chicago, so Lake Michigan being one, and then we wrote "Follow" up at his like grandparents' house and like on the border of Illinois and Wisconsin, and there was like a lake that we would walk on when it was frozen over.
The first press photo that we ever took was on that lake. It was him and I like standing. Got a hair on my face. Little curl.
Yeah, you can tell. It's not. It would be way too tiny.
Well, we look out for each other.
That's nice. That's nice.
We groom each other.
Oh yeah, she does. That's the basic point.
Yeah, you might be able to tell. It's good that you guys groom even. It's okay. I'm not editing it out though.
That's fine.
But speaking of Chicago, kind of, especially because you have a song called "Golden Days," but even the whole album feels very golden toned, really. And do you guys have that in Chicago? Because people always describe it as really cold and really windy and snowy. Really,
it's like that for like 6 months, and then like the other 5 months, 7 months, I should say. 7 months are hard, and then like the other 5 months are awesome.
They're pretty golden. The summer is like
summer is really good.
The summer right after we like finished writing the record and we were about to go record it. That was like the craziest summer of like both of our lives probably, because we had started playing shows. We were just playing around Chicago, kind of like I guess building like a local profile or something. But yeah, that was like the best summer. It was like such crazy weather and such crazy parties, and it was Since then, like our friend group, like we've been gone so much this year that like our friend group is kind of like disbanded a little bit. People are getting wifed up and moving to New York and stuff. So that like we'll always remember that as like those were like the golden days, kind of.
That's sweet. That's awesome. That's awesome. And but still, do you think it's possible to think of golden days as something yet to come as well?
Hopefully.
Oh no, we're past our prime now. A couple of years ago, we peaked, and now we're done. Hopefully, never, with anyone for anyone. But,
we just wrote. We have a couple songs done for like the next record, and we were here for like a week, staying in Barrio Alto.
Oh really?
So yeah, we wrote a new one here. And awesome. We're really happy with it, so maybe there'll be more golden days too.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah. When was this? When were you guys over here?
Just like this past week.
Oh, just this past week.
Finished it like 2 days ago. Yeah.
And do the songs have names already, or not going to?
In my computer, it's saved as Lisbon.
Oh, okay.
So
I get it.
Yeah.
Because you need to have temp names, So sometimes some people have actually written in Lisbon and called stuff Lisbon. I think that. Walkman have an album called Lisbon. I think. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
There's also a Panda Bear song called Benfica or something.
It's true.
We went and saw a Sporting Portugal game.
Thank you. That's my team. So
did you go to it?
Bad game.
Oh, was it against
Real Madrid?
Yes, I went to the second half. It was unfortunate. Yes.
How much did you pay for your tickets, by the way?
I have a season ticket, so I need to do some maths.
So we bought tickets and they set us, like that one place next to like where there's like glass on like the
like to the side.
It's like A9 and like there's like glass, like this weird thing that you can't see through.
There's like the barrier or something.
I actually never been there to that spot, so I'm not really sure.
The worst. We ended up leaving this. We just like stole someone else's seats.
Oh yeah.
Well, because we paid. I don't know. Whenever you're buying tickets online, like I get a little eeked, irked, a little suspicious. Because we both paid like a bunch of money for him.
Oh yeah, that's a Champions League game. It's expensive. Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's top of the. Yeah.
Maybe we didn't get scammed.
No, they're really expensive. They're. I mean, not. I think that in the U.S. Tickets are generally more expensive for things than they are over here. But for Lisbon prices, it's pretty. Yeah, it's
especially like the return of the prodigal son or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Ronaldo.
For sure. And you got to witness that. He's always a figure.
I'm not complaining. I was like, yo, if we got scammed, it was worth it. Fuck it.
No. I'm pretty sure you weren't, because they're high prices. So, but yeah, and you got to see watch the home team lose and be,
in the last 4 minutes.
4 minutes again, because that happened before. With them at their.
I thought they lost 2-1 last time as well to Real Madrid.
Yeah, exactly. So we're winning for like 80 minutes, and then the wind comes and Real Madrid scores 2 goals. It's just like that. There's nothing you can do about it.
Gareth Bale is like out for like 6 months or something. He has to have surgery on his ankle.
So I think like a month or 2, but he's skipping like a huge. We're actually, I think, speaking about football or soccer for the first time on my show. So, but it's cool. But I think he's skipping the next few matches with Barcelona and stuff like that, which is kind of a big deal. Yeah. So
super fast.
Super fast.
I hope he's still fast, because like getting surgery on your ankle when you're a runner is like a big deal.
Yeah. Ronaldo doesn't move much anymore.
No, dude.
It's uninspiring. You're just kind of like,
he's a finisher. He's like really good at shooting.
He's really good at everything now. But the thing is that he used to be like the fastest and the most craziest feinter, I think that's what it's called. But like simulations and tricks with the ball and stuff like that. And then he kind of got older, I guess. And now he's 32, I think. Which is for a soccer player is kind of advanced. Yeah.
He just picks and chooses when he wants to be amazing.
Yeah,
no disrespect to Ronaldo, but it's just kind of like, as a kid coming up, I was always told to do the best that I can. I don't know.
No, he's been like the best, the guy that really is the paradigm for that, actually, because like a whole of his career is like the hardest working and the guy who always shows up before practice.
Boy, man.
And he's really good looking too.
Well,
the hottest man of all time, most ripped.
That's a coin toss between I think who thinks he's good looking and not. So I'm not really sure.
Do you think he's gonna play the next World Cup? Portugal.
When is it?
It's in 2000. Must be 2018.
2000 World Cup is 2 years. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Hopefully we'll qualify, but I think we are.
Yeah, qualify.
No, but Ronaldo will keep playing because Messi just retired from international.
Messi, I think, has taken a step back with that because he. On and off leaves the national squad and then returns and then
comes back.
Yeah. No, I think it's happened like a bunch of times now. Yeah.
Because he never wins, man.
Not with them, no. Yeah. But Ronaldo didn't either, and now we're European champions.
UEFA Cup, yeah.
We're still. It's the dream, guys. Like
we listened to it in the van.
Really?
Yeah, because we're all football fans, so like we like. Watched the game that Ronaldo got injured.
Oh yeah.
And then listened to the game when they were playing.
That was the finals, like very early on he got injured, and then just went crazy on the sidelines, and pushed everyone forward. It's insane. It's insane.
It went to overtime, right? It was an overtime goal.
It was an overtime goal.
Yeah.
No, it actually right near the end, I think.
Really?
Yeah. I don't remember. Yeah. I don't either. I think it went to overtime and then right before the end, before penalties. Yeah, exactly. That was it. I was too excited to remember to know. Like I was just home like
what a crazy goal.
It's insane. It was a crazy goal. Insane. By the way, guys. Okay, so this is for a show called Made of Things, and it's based on the assumption that the artists dedicated themselves to whatever they're doing because they watched something or heard something or listened to something that made them go like, oh, I want to do that forever. Did you guys have that? And what was it? Could be something else. Could be.
I think it was the tape machine that Max bought, or that band Amanaz. That it kind of made us realize like we can make something that sounds really cool to us right now.
Yeah.
But not even with Whitney. I mean, since the beginning. Like, what triggered you to get into music?
I didn't have a choice. My dad, well, I mean, I had a choice, but like my dad, ever since I was like 2, like put drumsticks in my hands, and and then I was good at it. So
no, that's
when I was 2. Well, no, it's like
happens to people. Yeah.
Well, it's like I don't have any like memories in my life stored in the bank where I wasn't playing drums. So like when I came into consciousness, I was good at drums, and then I was like, all right, I got to keep going. I mean, it's the same kind of thing. I guess, were you bad at anything at any point.
Everyone's bad at something, at least a tiny bit.
I'm bad at guitar, and I'm about to have to go play. We're doing like this, like a duo show. It's like our first acoustic show ever, and I have to play guitar, and I'm like a little nervous.
Oh, so you guys are by yourselves? Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't know this.
Yeah. Man.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. So is it the first time then?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you guys must be going practicing.
Yeah, we've been practicing the whole time.
Yeah, because when we got here, they were playing. It's true. Yeah, we can confirm. No, but it's awesome. So what in your case? What was it?
I don't know. I grew up in a really musical family too, but I think it was like the first show my dad ever took me to was the Rolling Stones, and I was like in 5th grade. So I was 11.
Yeah.
Then after that, it was just like, that's what I was doing.
That was my age, I think, but it was my case was Guns N' Roses and Metallica, and no, not Guns N' Roses and Metallica. I'm sorry, Guns N' Roses, Faith No More again, and Soundgarden. The three of them. Yeah, that was kind of surprising.
I saw Guns N' Roses. I knew our old tour manager was the bassist's friend or manager or something, and we sat side stage for their show like 2 years ago, and it was really ridiculous. Oh, wow. Like when those pyro things happen and you're really close to them, it's like you can feel like the heat on your face. It's fucked up.
That's when at that show. I saw Axel pull an Axel, so to speak, so he was like running insanely. It was that time in which he was doing like these cardio special workouts and calisthenics and stuff like that. Yeah. So he had these 2 ramps and he was running like this all the time and singing like insanely.
Who's faster, Ronaldo or Axel Rose?
Well, they've both been injured. So because he was the lead singer of AC/DC over here, and he was in a wheelchair with his leg like this. So
he's actually an amazing piano player. That's like the crazy thing.
He's an amazing singer.
Yeah, I mean, he's good. I was really surprised when I heard him play piano though live. It was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's excellent, but he's Axl Rose, but which comes with its ups and downs. But and I used to love Guns N' Roses. I'm joking, but I'm being playful. But like he was like running down these ramps, and people were throwing. First off, Mike Patton of Faith No More was asking people to throw shit up on stage. So since
like drugs,
throw whatever you have. So we had like bandanas, underwear, plastic bottles of water, and he was up to his knees in that. And then because Guns N' Roses took an hour and a half to come on stage, and people were fed up, and so he was like by the third song, people kept throwing stuff on stage, and Axl slipped while he was doing that and had a gash in his leg like this. Oh. So yeah, so he sang like the next 2. So he was a trooper though, because he sang like the next 2 or 3 songs somewhere. It was like just lying on the floor. So we ended up the show ended up lasting an hour or something after waiting an hour and a half for that. So they basically, I think that they were flying already, like leaving Lisbon, while people were still leaving the venue. So it was at this huge stadium. So actually the old Alvalade Stadium. So of Sporting. Yeah. So that's an interesting story I never told on the show. But did you guys, speaking of crazy shows, just one last thing. Like you guys played Pitchfork and. Pitchfork in Paris, yeah. So the thumbnail, it got uploaded on YouTube like 3 days ago or something. Mm-hmm. I haven't watched the full show, but you guys there's a thumbnail with you guys basically on top of each other. What was going on?
That was just
Oh yeah, I've only kissed Max once on stage, and it's because I did an interview with Elton John, and he told me to.
Oh.
But me and Josiah kiss sometimes, like when we're feeling it, just like to throw people off during the set, I guess. Like, I don't know. Ooh. We played the set so many times that it's like, it feels fun to like act out like some love-making scene or something.
Awesome.
But yeah, awesome. I don't know. We do that sometimes, and I think Pitchfork got a really good photo of it, and Yeah.
Because I haven't watched the whole thing, so I was like, and I was looking for it because like, what's going on here? Because you can't always tell from pictures, you know. So like, oh, okay, so this just sounds fun. What about the Elton John thing? Just to close because we're running out of time now. But the Elton John thing, how what?
I guess he put one of our songs on his, like, he does like an Apple Music playlist, not a podcast. Maybe it is a podcast. I don't know. Yeah, thanks. No, but he does.
Rooming number 2.
He like maybe it is a podcast. He like narrates the whole thing and like puts his favorite new young bands on it. And yeah, and then we were in New York doing like a couple of big New York shows or whatever, and then we were like we sat down with our manager and like everyone that like I guess works for us and like the whole band, and like our manager like just like in the middle of dinner, like basically like ding, ding, ding. And he was just like, just want to announce that Julien will be talking to Elton John for the New York Times next Friday. And I was like, really? Okay. And then, yeah, I was really, really fucking nervous for it though. I drank a couple shots of whiskey beforehand, but it was a good conversation. Really was.
Was he really sharp? Because he usually is.
He totally. That was like,
really sharp.
And he also like he has an like amazing ear for like even new music and stuff, which is just like not necessarily typical of like, I don't know, a career that's lasted that long, I guess. Maybe you get like senile or something, you're like, fuck the younger generation or something. He is like the exact opposite. He's so sharp. I mean, the dude's been a professional famous person for his entire life, basically, so he knows how to do an interview. So he took the pressure off me. It was cool.
Wow, that's awesome. And dude, what a compliment being on someone who's that talented, you know, and that huge, really. And who names his stuff now Wonderful Night, I guess, which is something he does.
That album, I had to have like 5 or 6 questions ready for him, and one of them, like, I only got to ask him 3 because he talks so much. But one of them was going to be like, whose idea was it for your last album cover? Because it's awesome. It is. So magnificent. It's so tight. He's the man. He's the man.
Yes. Okay, thanks guys. Thanks for your time. That was awesome. Yeah. Thank you. And enjoy the show tonight. And have fun doing something new. Really. It's awesome.
Hope we don't fuck it up.
Cool. Yeah, you won't. There's always a chance.
I mean, there's a guarantee that I don't play guitar live.